Yeah, everyone who knows me knew this video was coming. Before we begin, will there be glazing, I hear you ask? Probably. But can you blame me? He's my favorite character in Hell of a Boss and the Helliverse as a whole. We are of course talking about the big guy himself, Satan, the necessary evil. Now before we dive headfirst into the topic of why Satan is the necessary evil within hell, allow me to briefly shine a spotlight on a comparison I've brought up before, whether to friends in private or in a video prior. I believe I mentioned in a prior video that Charlie, sweet, bubbly, optimistic Charlie, doesn't seem to take real responsibility and accountability for the massive amount of power and authority she holds within hell. Vivzie Pop herself placed her high on the royal hierarchy chart of hell, yet she barely acknowledges it. So why bring that up? Because this frustrating trait is mirrored in her father, Lucifer Morningstar. Lucifer's lack of responsibility over hell is so well established that even Foster's, a key developer of Has-Been Hotel's pilot during the conception to release, knew about it. For anyone unfamiliar, Foster's worked closely with Viv from the conception of the show through its pilot release in 2019. They subsequently parted ways in 2020 for reasons I don't fully know, but their insight still matters today. And on Foster's official fandom wiki page, it says, and I quote from the wiki, they joked about feeling as though they knew the characters personally for all the years they'd spent with them. How true this is, I'll leave up to you, but considering they worked with Viv during the conception of the show to release, there may be merit in their words. And when asked about Lucifer himself, Foster's made it very clear they believed that Lucifer didn't care much for hell's inhabitants. Sinners or hellborn, it didn't matter. The concept of differentiating between hellborn and sinner might not have been coined or defined back then. What mattered was that Lucifer wasn't active in the politics of hell and didn't engage, and existed mainly to reinforce the status quo of power in hell. Sound familiar? Lucifer, and by extension Charlie, have been constantly portrayed as detached from the actual governing of hell, so where does that leave hell? Rulers who don't rule, power without purpose, authority without accountability. And that, my friends, is exactly why Satan is so important. He's not just another sin. In a world where Asmodeus is more obsessed with his love for Fizz enough to put his credibility as the sin of lust on the line, and for his toys, shall we say, business, where Beelzebub is literally a party animal, unconcerned with the problems of hell, where Mammon is, well, Mammon, and Lucifer, who is more interested in ducks and his family. It's here where Satan stands apart from his contemporaries. Let's not forget, Blitzo treats these so-called rulers with absolutely zero respect. Like crashing Ozzy's club, check. Talking down to Beelzebub in her own home, check. Mocking Mammon to his face, belittling Mammon to his face, check and check. But when Satan shows up, Blitz is quiet. Satan commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he earns it. He's the first sin we see whom the imps and Hellborn actually fear and respect. His name is invoked like how we humans would use God's name. And when he finally makes his grand entrance in Mastermind, he's not what we expected. I thought beforehand we'd get some stoic, silent straight man to contrast the other sins' silliness. Instead, we got something a little different. A judge, a force of law, a presence that grounds the chaos of hell with real consequences. As we covered in the Stolas video prior, yes, Blitz is guilty of stealing the grimoire. Yes, he made everything worse by running his mouth and not presenting his case in the most empathetic light. But does Satan jump to the execution right away? No. He sits, he listens, he waits. He judges only when all sides have spoken and all present have casted their vote. And then later on in the episode, he says,
"And here I am the law."
And no one laughs, no one scoffs, no one rolls their eyes, not even the other sins, because in that moment, everyone knows it's true. Cartoon Universe even pointed out that the entire courtroom is built around Satan's massive presence and imposing frame. He is the law. He is the structure. He is the necessary backbone that no one else wanted to be. Let's face it, Lucifer doesn't care. They're all too preoccupied, and that's where Satan comes in. Not perfect, not gentle, not even good, but necessary. In Loki Season 1, Episode 6, He Who Remains says a line that goes, "You may hate the dictator, but something far worse will fill that void if you depose them." That line hits different when you apply it to Satan. You don't have to like him, but who else is going to uphold the law? Who can enforce order among chaos? Who else wants to? Now, is Satan flawless? No. Is his rule heavy-handed? Are his decisions heavy-handed? Yeah, but is he the only one trying to do the job? Yeah. And in a hell full of absent rulers and self-obsessed elites, Satan may be the one evil we can't afford to lose. So yeah, maybe I'm glazing a little, but can you blame me? Anywho, thanks for watching. If you liked this deep dive into the politics of the Helliverse, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on Satan's role in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Is he a dictator, a protector, or something far more complex? I will see you guys next time, and remember, sometimes the devil you know is the one keeping the real demons in line.